Hi, good morning to all. India is a country of many diversities. The previous class we discussed about different experiences of different people. You know that in India we can see many languages or we speak different languages. We have various types of food. We celebrate different festivals. We practice different religions, etc. If you think about it, we do many things that are similar, except that we do them in different ways. For example, people pray through singing a hymn or reading a holy books, or people get married through different rituals, through signing a register or arranged celebration, etc. And if we are observing how people are greeting each other, some of them are telling namaste, and some of them are doing shake hands like that. And in the case of dresses also, in Kerala, women wear sari, men wear shirt and dhoti, and Punjabis they wear men wear their kurta and turban like that. And in the case of food item, we can see people cook rice, making biryani, sadhya, and different pulao, idli, dosa like that. So different types of food items. So we can't see all the places similarity. Some of them are making that, and some of them are making this like that. How these diversities happen? How these differences happen? Do you know? Okay, listen. In the past, people travel from one part of the world to another in ships or on horses or on foot. Often they went in search of new lands or new places to settle in. Once they got to a place, people stayed there. Some of them, or many others, left in search of work, or they couldn't get enough to eat, or because of war, they moved from that area. This process is going on. Some of them are living in that place itself. So, their language, food, religions became a mix of the old and the new. So that is the history that we are studying in the past. The history says that people are moving from one place to another in search of job opportunities, or for seeking more food for their cattle, or to find new settlements. That is the thing that we studied in the previous years. So, like that, diversity also comes about when people adapt their lives to the geographical area in which they live. For example, living near the sea is quite different from living in a mountainous area. Their eating habits are different, their clothing are different, and the kinds of work they do are different, that we know. And in cities, people are living in differently. They do not grow their vegetables and grain. Instead, they depend on the market for all their needs, or to buy all the food and other goods that they need. But in the case of villages, you can see people are growing their crops, and they are not depending that much for the markets, because whatever they are in need of it, everything they are giving more importance to cultivating. That was the condition. Now also we can see in village people they are doing more agricultural activities, but in towns we can see, or cities, everything for their needs. They are depending upon markets. They are having enough job and money, but they are depending directly for the marketing facilities. Okay, you know that. We say that historical and geographical factors influence diversity of a region. We can do this by studying about life in two different parts of the country, Kerala and Ladakh. I think all of you have observed the outline map of India. Do you know where is Ladakh? Yes, very near to the yes, mountainous region, or we can say the northern part of India, or it is in Jammu and Kashmir. We can see Ladakh. Ladakh is a desert, that means full of mountains, and we can see agriculture is very little in this area. Why? Do you know any reason why, especially in the northern part of India, very less or little agriculture, very less agriculture is possible? Why? Yes, full of snow falling areas. So listen these points. This region doesn't receive any rain. Large part of the year it is covered with snow. For drinking water, people depend upon the melting snow during the summer months. People here keep sheep, and the sheep in this region are special because they produce pashmina wool. Pashmina wool, very important. I think you might have heard about pashmina shawls. Yes, very soft woolen shawl that is very demand in the world market also. So the people in Ladakh, they collect the wool and sell this to the traders from Kashmir. Then these pashmina shawls are woven in Kashmir. The people are giving more importance to doing this type of activities, especially the people, those who are sitting in their houses, or especially ladies, they are giving more importance to making this world demanded pashmina shawl. The people here, the people eat meat and milk products because I told you that they are giving more importance to cattle rearing, especially sheep, and they are getting enough milk and milk products. It is available in their region itself. That's why they are giving more importance to milk and milk products. Ladakh is called Little Tibet. Tibet, you know? Ah, yes. So many traders and caravans travel through Ladakh to Tibet. So that's why, especially these products are transporting on the head through this way. So groups of people are traveling through this Ladakh region to Tibetan region. That is why it is also called little. It is also called Little Tibet. Okay. Then now also we can see in Ladakh region, every time snow falling region is there, very cold climate, and very less rainfall is very less, and depending upon the humid atmosphere, cultivation is growing on some areas. Now we can see what about Kerala. I think no need to discuss more about Kerala now. You are a part and parcel of this state. Can you say any 5 sentences about Kerala? Yeah, yes, it's our state. Very good. It is in the southwest corner of India. Very good. Okay. Yes, it is surrounded by the sea on one side and hills on the other. Very good point. Okay. And any other? Yes, very good. A number of spices like pepper, cloves, cardamoms are grown on the hills. You know that during the earlier time itself, so many great traders they reached Kerala only for attracting the spices of our stage, especially which are the important spices I told you? Yes, pepper, cloves, pepper, black gold, isn't it? It's also called black gold, karutta swarnam. Why? It is highly demanded in the European markets also. And you know that nowadays we are especially we are using in our kitchen for preparing food items, delicious food items. We are using more pepper nowadays. It's very good for our health also. And the cloves, for preparing biryani we are using this one. And cardamoms also, even preparing tea also we are using this cardamom powder. Okay, so all these are growing very easily in our hills. That's why so many traders attracted here. You know that so many traders attracted here only because of the spices available here. Okay. Then before 2000 years ago, you know that so many visitors came to our country, and among them one famous apostle of Christ, that is Saint Thomas, he reached in our India and bringing Christianity to India. So during the time of his arrival, Christianity also, or he gave more importance to preaching of Christian religion here. And also we can see many Arab traders came here and settled here. Because of this, and one more point, I told you that Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese navigator, reached here in 1498. He first discovered a sea route to India. What was his main intention while reaching here? Yes, he heard from the past itself. It's a very good, rich place, or we can say more resources are available in our area. That is why he find a new sea route to India and he reached Kerala, especially Kapad. Have you heard about that? In Kozhikode, one beach is there, that is Kapad beach. So he reached here. Now also we can see some important historical place that where he reached, and a small what we can say a reminder of his arrival also now if you are visiting that place. And people in Kerala practice different religions. You know that different religious people are living together in our state. Hindu people are there, Christians are there, Muslims are there, Judaism is also going on, Buddhism is also there. So different religious people are living together without any problem. That also we can see. So it's a mixture of different cultures. And I think you might have heard about Chinavala. Have you heard? Yes, the fishing nets used here are exactly like the Chinese fishing nets, and they are called Chinavala. That is, fishing nets came from China. That means Chinese people also visited our country in the earlier time. And you know, China chatti in our kitchen we are using for frying food items, especially frying could have come from this China chatti also came from China. That means a mixture of different countries' culture also reached in our area in the past itself. The fertile land and climate are suited to growing rice, and a majority of people here eat rice, fish, and vegetables. So listen, the food item comparing to other places, we can see it's some different. Fish, more water availability is there, and fishing nets are also available in the past itself. So we are getting a very good, yes, sea resource. And that is why in our food style also we can see people here use rice and fish and vegetables also. Okay, our food, we are giving more importance to rice and fish curries. You know that fish fry and fish curry, we can't avoid it. Okay, yes. So after studying about Ladakh and Kerala, what are the features that we discussed here? Yeah, yes, their geographical features are different, and their food habits are different. Okay, so we can see that Kerala and Ladakh are quite different in terms of their geographical features. Similarly, in our own neighborhoods, we live close to people from several communities. Now also we can see in our, if you are observing our surroundings, you can see different villages people are living together without any problem. They are your good friends also. Some of you are living with other community, living very near to other communities. Hindus and Muslims, they were very close neighbors, and the Christians and the Hindus or Muslims, they are very close neighbors that we can see now. So we live close to people from several communities. That is why we can say this type of diversities came to our culture. Okay. Then very important point that we are discussing, unity in diversity. Diversities we studied how it reached in our culture. Now unity in diversity, one important point that we have to discuss here. I think you might have heard about the freedom struggle. Yes, first freedom struggle, you know. Yes, during the time Britishers ruled our country, you know that. Okay, yes, now listen. India's diversity has always been recognized as a source of strength. When the British ruled in India, women and men from different cultural, religious, and regional backgrounds came together to oppose them. British thought they could divide Indians and continue to rule them, but the people should know that how they would be different and united in their battle against British. So, for showing diversity, we can say the best example that is from freedom struggle. You know that Britishers ruled our country for many years, nearly 300 years they ruled here. During this time, they started many problems or issues. So, but everything be solved only because of the strength and unity of our Indians. So it shows one historical incident. A historical incident happened during the British period. That incident is known as Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So it happened in Amritsar, that is in Punjab. British general opened fire on a large group of unarmed peaceful people, killing many and wounding even more. Men and women, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, rich and poor all gathered to protest against the British and sung one song also. So all the people at that areas, they turned against to remove British administration from our country. That is why they gathered in a big ground, and the ground was, yes, it was a fence, around this ground also, and one big well also in their ground. Okay, so that all the people in that region, they gathered together and raised slogans against Britishers, and they sung song against it. The British administration was very difficult. Indians can't suffer these Britishers at that time. That is why they turned against the Britishers. So during this time, what happened, the British general, his name was General Dyer. He fired on the large group of unarmed Indians. At that time, they are not having any weapons at that time, but their strong desire to oppose the British government, that we can see there. So that time the British general fire against this poor innocent people, especially we can say poor and rich and different religious communities, men and women, everyone will be there. So it served as a reminder of our country's rich tradition of respect for diversity. So here we can see only because of the strong decision to unite against the Britishers. That's why we can get our own freedom now, or we are enjoying the freedom only because of the unity of our Indian national leaders, or the Indians at that time, we can say. And after discussing this unity and diversity, we know that we have a very great leader at that time. So you know that he is the first prime minister of our country. Do you know who is that? Yes, Jawaharlal Nehru. So Jawaharlal Nehru, he wrote a book, Discovery of India. Here he says that Indian unity was not imposed from the outside, but it was same, and it was something deeper also. It was Nehru who said unity in diversity to describe the country. As younger generation, our duty is to protect the values given by our leaders. So I think you might have seen Jawaharlal Nehru's picture, and you know that we are calling him as Chachaji. Yes. Do you know his birthday? Which day we are celebrating on November 14? Yes, Children's Day. Why? Because he loved children very much. That's why. Okay. So he was giving a very good phrase, that is unity in diversity. Okay. I hope you got a clear idea about this topic and enjoyed the class. Thank you.